began at Virginia Tech in 1987. This is it, the swan song in Shreveport, where his bowl streak began. Frank Beamer taking his final turn as the head coach of Virginia Tech in Shreveport. We welcome you to the Camping World Independence Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. The matchup here at Independence Stadium from the American Conference Western Division, Tulsa, and Virginia Tech from the ACC, both teams having to win their final games of the season in order to be bowl eligible. Hello again, everyone. Hope Christmas was great for you. We've got our gift to you right here with Ray Bentley and Jane Slater. I'm Dave Lamont, and we thank you very much for joining us. And yes, we're going to talk a lot about the players today, as we should, but certainly the focus has been and should be on Frank Beamer. It really should be, and it's, I think, only fitting that he started that bowl streak 23 years ago right here, and he's back, and he's just done it the right way throughout his career, Dave. And when they name a facet or a type or a style of playing the game after you, Beamer ball, with his special teams and scoring on defense, that tells you something about the legacy and the impact that Frank Beamer will leave behind after this ball game. Yeah, let's talk about one of the key players for him, Michael Brewer, the quarterback. Take a look at him. Injured in the first game of the season, and it really set their season off on a bad tilt. Now he's come back, and they didn't win 3 of the last 4, but that injury was a major distraction for Virginia Tech. Hurt in the first game of the season, a loss to Ohio State. This is Michael Brewer's last college game, and one of the guys he'll be throwing to is one of the top receivers in the ACC, and Isaiah Ford. Yeah, he's outstanding, Dave. He can go the distance on any given play. He's such a threat running after the catch, and then goes and gets the deep ball. Now on the right side, you saw Kieris Garrett. He's every bit as good as Ford, only a lot bigger. He is a hard man to bring down after he reels it in. Now Tulsa is one of the fastest teams in the country, and they have taken the snap, and they'll take the kickoff, and they'll take it at the 25-yard line. Now, just moments before we had that touchback, Jane Slater caught up with Philip Montgomery of Tulsa.
Coach, what does it mean to you to coach against a guy like Frank Beamer in his last one ahead of retirement?
Well, obviously it's an honor. I mean, a guy that's done it the right way for so many years. He's a Hall of Fame head coach. You know, if my career can look like his, I'll be blessed at the end of it.
With so much attention on Frank Beamer and this being his last game, how have you kept your team motivated for this bowl?
Well, you know, it's easy to get motivated. I mean, we've been underdogs all year. We're a blue-collar team. We're going to come here. We're going to battle. We're going to fight. That's the way we've done it all year long. We're not going to change now.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
And those underdog status, that hasn't changed for this game either, as Tulsa begins with the first play, and they'll go to the ground. And that's D'Angelo Brewer picking up a couple of yards there against the Virginia Tech defense. And the other story, one of the several little sidebars, is who's running the Virginia Tech defense and who will continue to do so. Right, Bud Foster is going to stay on. Justin Fuente, the new head coach, had a good conversation with him. They came to an agreement, and I think that's great for the stability of this Hokie outfit. Dale Evans has his pass batted at the line of scrimmage by Daddy Nicholas, and that's going to be incomplete. Evans, solid year. We saw him play last year, and he looks like a better quarterback this year. No doubt. I think this offense and the work that Philip Montgomery has done with him has really changed Evans' game entirely. I mean, when he first came around and Coach Montgomery watched film of him, he brought him in and said, man, we've got a lot of work to do. But he said Evans really embraced it and has improved throughout the course of this season. Evans, there's a quick throw. They go underneath. It'll be a first down and a little bit more. And Tulsa goes to Connor Floyd. And one of his very best friends, oddly enough, is Virginia Tech quarterback Michael Brewer. That's 18 and a first down. And this is what I'm talking about. Getting the ball out of his hands quick is the key to this offense. And that's what Evans has really gotten a lot better at. They go back to the ground. Hole opens up. This is Brewer. And Brewer has a chance to go to the 10, and he will score. 48-yard touchdown for the sophomore from Tulsa, and the Golden Hurricane on the board first. And it's really just a simple inside zone play. Got a nice block from the right tackle, number 58, Willie Wright. And then he stumbled a little bit through the hole, but Brewer was able to get his feet back under him, and then he showed the speed breaking away for that touchdown. Well, that's great recovery, because it looked like for a second he might even go down, and he was able to get his feet, but you also have to wonder, where were the safeties on that play? 4 plays, 75 yards in 46 seconds, and a 48-yard touchdown run, and Tulsa can score them fast.
what Philip Montgomery wanted his football team to do, come out of the blocks. And I know they've probably gotten sick, and all due respect, of hearing about Coach Beamer. And they come out and bust it. Watch the block right here by the right tackle, Willie Wright. He's going to collapse his man down, and that creates the seam. And that was all that D'Angelo Brewer needed. And he outran that Tremaine Edwards, one of the 3 Edwards brothers who play for Coach Beamer's football team.
And it should be pointed out that Edmonds is in for Deion Clark, who was not here. And right to the end, a disciplinarian when necessary. Frank Beamer sent 2 players home and didn't even bring one with them. And one of them is a starting linebacker in Deion Clark. So Edmonds moving up in that linebacker position. And the other 2 players are offensive players, little used receivers Dimitri Knowles and Kevin Asante.
And if you're wondering where that secondary was for the Hokies, a lot of people are. They were in man-to-man coverage, and so when those guys run routes, that's where your eyes are, and that's where your responsibility is. And then you have to, at some point, take a peek back and then find the football and respond. They did not.
So just like that, Tulsa, and this is what they do, they're outstanding at getting into the end zone very quickly. Now, this does cause some problems for their defense as games go on, but Darion Green at the 23-yard line, another number 23 with it. Now he's at the 23-yard line, breaking a few tackles, and Green will get off to a fine return to the 37-yard line. And of course, the
little Beamer ball right there.
Yeah, special teams emphasis, which has been copied by so many college coaches. Of course, you played in Buffalo for Marv Levy, who was one of the original NFL special teams coaches, so you knew about that emphasis way back when.
Exactly, and that really kind of comes from the George Allen coaching tree. And that thing has really exploded, and everyone gives it lip service, but a lot more pay attention to it.
So Brewer with a quick throw, caught at the 42-yard line. That's Ford, and he'll fall forward to the 43 for a gain of 5. And so with the 2 backup receivers out, and really you only lost 2 receptions between those 2, but in case of injury, Virginia Tech is going to have a real major depth issue.
Yeah, one of the things they will do and have done throughout the season, they'll put Bucky Hodges, number 7, out there. He's listed as a tight end, but he's pretty much a receiver. So he kind of picks up the slack there. Then they move the big tight end outside, Ryan Malik, and he can be a receiver.
They gave him 6 on that play, so it's 2nd down and 4. Another quick throw, another one to Ford, made the first one miss, got a little bit of a shade block, and he will fight for the first down. So we get an idea of the strategy, at least on the first couple of plays. 6 again for Ford.
Ford is so elusive out in the field. You see that? I mean, he had him dead to right. Matt Linscott, one of the more solid tacklers on this Tulsa defense, had him in his sights, but Ford is just too quick in his lateral movement, and then he hits that gas pedal and gets up and gets a first down.
So he's on the right side of the field this time, right of the quarterback, and he was on the left previously. Now McMillan motions next to the quarterback, and this is McMillan on the handoff. Has one blocker in front of McMillan, pops it down the sideline, 30, 20, and he'll score. Touchdown, Hokies, 51 yards. Well, that was well blocked.
It really was. And they caught Tulsa really the hat for a hat. And usually you try to get an extra guy into the box to have somebody that doesn't get blocked. They're going to pull both the guard and the center around the edge, and they end up with a hat for a hat right there. I mean, you got block there, block here, and there's a guy coming up here, and bam, right there, he gets cleared out by the center, Eric Gallo.
What you need is a seal here and a seal here, and you run this play in the alley.
And they did.
3 plays. Well, that took all of 121. A little slow compared to the way Tulsa scored, but man, we're flying, Ray, on the ground. Which, according to Neil Young, is wrong. Like, are you late? Because you've missed 2 touchdowns already, 1 for each team, both of them long runs, and that one from Trayvon McMillan. You never know in a bowl game whether you're going to get a conservative one, kind of what happened in St. Petersburg today, or you're going to get a wild one. And that's what we have here, at least in the early going, with a couple of quick touchdowns.
And they had to win 3 out of their last 4 in order to continue the tradition of never having a losing season under Frank Beamer. That's amazing. That's what this game is all about for the Hokies. They do not want to saddle him with a losing season, but they're going to have to stop the run.
Well, this is Zach Langer. Now they'll catch him, but Zach Langer is dragged down to the 32-yard line by Chuck Clark, a junior cornerback. So the rushing average did drop a little with 43.
It was just a matter of overrunning it a little bit by the linebacker, number 54, Matua Puka, and there was nobody home.
And another first down on a slant pattern to Josh Atkinson. This Tulsa team has very good receivers. Clark with another tackle, and you see the Golden Hurricane want to play fast, and they are one of the fastest teams as Evans gets up the middle, and he'll pick up 8 very quickly, and one of the better efforts against the run by Virginia Tech so far.
Evans doesn't usually carry the football. However, everything changes when you get down in the red zone. And that's where you want your quarterback to run in what they call the +1 running game. The +1 is the extra blocker you get when the quarterback carries it.
They need 3. Back to the ground. No, it's Evans on the keeper. Great read that time by Evans. He'll get inside the 5 down to about the 2. Donovan Riley brings him down. It's 1st and goal.
This offense loves to go fast as possible. They have 18 drives for a touchdown of under 1 minute this year.
They score again. 18th touchdown for Zach Langer.
Langer is a banger. He came to school weighing 185 pounds. He's up to close to 220 now, and it totally changed a running style where he used to run around guys. Now he runs right through them like he did on that particular play, as Daddy Nicholas could not make the tackle.
How many under a minute?
It was 18 coming in.
20 now, 59 seconds.
Well, I think that first one might qualify
too.
It did. Yes,
it did.
Perfect.
This was a lengthy 59 seconds compared to the first one. 5 plays, 75 yards. The second touchdown run for Tulsa, the 3rd of the game. This may come down to a missed extra point today or something. That may be how Beamer ball may tilt the field if they're able to at all. So Virginia Tech wearing the same unis, by the way, they wore in 1993 in their initial, then known, I think it was the Bull and Weed Eater Independence Bowl back then. And they've gone back to that look. A lot of memories. And at the moment, though, I don't think Frank Beamer is thinking about his next tee time, which he is looking forward to after the game, but not right now.
Yeah, he says he's got a lot of former coach buddies, including Al Grove, who they all have homes in the same area. And he says every time he talks to him, it's about his next tee time. So Frank's looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's when he realized, you know, maybe I need to change. Now that'll be another touchback. So 25-yard line. You got Phillips in the slot on the right, and Ford, who's already caught us some balls in this game.
They're going to check to a pass because of all these guys in the box, and now you see Tulsa changing it a little bit.
And Brewer's not really a running style quarterback. Quickly dumps it out to Ford, and this is well blocked. And guess what?
Track meet.
On the angle, can he get him? No, he can't. We've got another long touchdown. 75 yards.
Great blocking by the Tech offensive line. Wyatt Teller and Jonathan McLaughlin, the left side of that line, both of them knocked their men off their feet on this quick screen. Watch these 57 and 71 right there. Boom, one guy down, the other guy down. There's nobody left. That's great execution is all that is.
Tulsa's defense has given up almost 300 yards passing during the year and 239 rounding up on the ground. So 531.5 was their average coming in. So they have had a problem stopping people. But they score on you too, and back and forth we go. So now we played, what, 3 minutes and 18 seconds, and it's tied at 14. First 100 wins. This is only the second time I've had the pleasure of calling this game here in Shreveport. I'm going to gamble that no other Independence Bowl, no matter who the sponsor is this year, of course, our friends at Camping World, has ever started like this.
Yeah, this has been amazing. You see the numbers here, and 4 of the 13 plays that have been run have been for 40 yards or more. I don't know if Frank Beamer's changing his style on his last game, but you're right. It's just been a simple run up the middle and a quick screen to the edge have been big scoring plays for him.
And for Tulsa, they're just playing at their pace, which is a fast pace, and their 2 touchdowns. One set up by a big play, and one was a big play. And look out. Watch your Chardonnay there, buddy, because that is just beastly kicking with a little bit of wind now, mind you, but still.
The end zone there.
Holy smokes, he's quite serious about that, by the way. Let's see what Tulsa does on offense. They're only averaging, compared to Virginia Tech, they look like pikers.
Yeah. Well, they got to 14 points, so.
So Warren, and now we have a play for a loss for the first time today. Stepping in there is Tremaine Edmonds, starting in place of Deion Clark, and the freshman from Danville, Virginia, with a big play.
Yeah, and he's just on a crash stunt right off the edge and catches this play from behind and blows it up. He had a little help as there was some initial pressure in the middle by Seth Dooley.
Looks to his left first, guns it, it is incomplete. Justin Hobbs had his hands on it, couldn't hang on, and yes, we're going to get a punt.
How about that?
Unbelievable. The most surprised guy in the stadium is probably the punter for Tulsa, Dalton Parks. There's Riley being tended to there. Take a look at that left shoulder or maybe collarbone area. So you've got two returners back here. This is where Beamer ball became famous in this stadium with a block punt in their first visit to Shreveport.
And they keep that short man up there in case it's a rugby style kick. You can save a lot of yards by catching that in the air.
Parks does it the old fashioned way, but it's a short kick anyway. Stroman comes up at the 43, then goes backwards 4 yards. Got one key block, got another very good block. Stroman to the 35-yard line, and he'll get to the 30. Keep going. Did he step out of bounds is the issue, and he is finally dropped. So the issue is, where is he finally down? And then look at the officials. They said he must have stepped out of bounds at the 14.
Coach Beamer told us that things have changed a little bit. The way teams protect in punts, they put that shield, that three-man wall in front of the punter. And what that does, it makes it harder to block a punt, but easier to return one. And that's been the new emphasis. And I don't think he did step out of bounds.
He didn't.
And that's where they thought they might be able to pop one, and they did right there.
They gained 44 on the punt after a 34-yard punt. So there's a little of the special teams, and he was confident they could nail one here. Bob Vucetich is our replay official, could be the very best in the entire business, and he is not buzzing down.
He's one of the nicest.
And most prepared, without question. Here's McMillan. And he will not go 75 on this one. He'll get it down to the 10 and pick up 4. Second down and 6 coming up. Craig Suits, who was a terrific player last year as a freshman, had another good year this year as a sophomore, number 28 in there on the stop.
This is the area of the field they like to work tight ends, in particular 88 Ryan Malik. He'll be on the left side of this formation, and then Bucky Hodges will be up top here, and Malik down here. Those are the tight ends.
Sam Rogers, number 45, now the tailback spot. Phillips goes in motion. Rogers sneaks out to the end zone. Too hot. 3rd and 6.
And Brewer knew he kind of overthrew that one. I don't know if it's an adrenaline deal. It looked to me like he had a seam to get Cam Phillips. They ended up in a bunch formation over there, and Phillips came from the inside right up the seam.
3 out of 4 for Brewer. He hit his first 3. Offense has been a problem for Virginia Tech. You wouldn't believe it based on what we've seen, but 37% is not very good on 3rd down.
Changing the call again. And that in turn makes Tulsa change theirs. Still chess match.
Made a hand signal to Ford, throws it to him, and it's off his hands, incomplete. There was some sort of sight adjustment. You could very clearly see that. So it sets up 4th down. Thomas in there defensively. He has 11 pass breakups on the year, so that was maybe best against best right there.
Without a doubt, and that's what Virginia Tech saw. Man-to-man coverage on their top receiver, and they said, we're going to take that chance and go after it. Ball just a little bit thrown outside.
27-yarder here for Joey Sly. It was his field goal that beat Virginia and allowed Virginia Tech to get to that important 6th win. The punter Hughes is the holder, and that is good. Virginia Tech sneaks in front in the quietest score we've had so far. We actually had a punt and a field goal, and we've still only played 5 minutes and 7 seconds.
First quarter, it is now Virginia Tech 17, Tulsa 14.
Welcome you back to the Camping World Independence Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. We've had a lightning fast start here, but Virginia Tech has so many different identities. There's Beamer Ball, and then Jane Slater has something else that really tells us about Virginia Tech.
Yeah, guys, this is the lunch pail, and it made the 950-mile trip from Blacksburg, Virginia, here to Shreveport, Louisiana, as it always does for the road games and at home. The lunch pail really symbolizes this blue-collar work ethic of this team. Bud Foster, defensive coordinator, says this all started back in 1995, and inside it, unit goals, weekly goals, and also the names of all of the victims from the Virginia Tech shooting in 2008. He says as long as he's here, those names will be inside of it. He says they also put turf in there from all of their road wins, and it's just really just is a rallying cry from this team to put on the hard work and the effort. Only one player has been able to take this home, and that's been Daryl Tapp. So far, though, team loves it. Always on the road. Guys, back to you.
He earned it, by the way, and there's some rumor that Frank Beamer may get one of those as a going-away gift. And out of the many things he's received and will receive, that might be the one he treasures the most.
Luther Maddie has been the lunch pail daddy of late. He has had that thing for the last month or so, and rightly so. He is the leader on this Tech defense.
Evans fires it. There's Garrett at the 30-yard line, but a sure tackle in the open field that time by Mook Reynolds. That's a gain of 13. They're going to be short of the first down. Great job there by Reynolds, because if he doesn't make that, that's a first down.
Yeah, they got it to Garrett, even though he didn't get the yardage, they like his chances and run after the catch. That was a great tackle there, as you mentioned, by Reynolds. Another youngster, a true freshman in this Hokie defensive backfield.
So the last time Tulsa punted, they ended up giving -10 in the net after a great 44-yard return by Stroman. And this is this isn't pretty either. This is going to take a nice bounce, though. It looked funny, but it's going to end up being a pretty good kick rolling out to the 23-yard line. So that is Hodges, the big tight end slash receiver in motion. He's 6'7". Over him, and it's caught, and there's Ford again, and he's already having a good day. And we're still not even at the halfway point of the opening quarter. Mudo in there on the stop. That's a gain of 20.
And that's a little sail route where they high-low the corner out there. As you mentioned, Bucky Hodges, he went short, and then Ford ran a little corner route behind him.
Ford 4 for 107. Here's J.C. Coleman breaking free. That looks like pretty much the same play they scored the touchdown on earlier. And Coleman, brought down by Matt Linscott, will pick up a first down after picking up 13.
Virginia Tech offense has been a disappointment for them this year. They really had high expectations. They got basically knocked off the rails when Brewer was injured in the opener. But they are playing extremely well up front right now. That left side of the line in particular with Teller and McLaughlin.
They stay on the ground. Coleman up the gut. And still fighting through and getting an assist that time from Teller. Number 57, who was pushing, except I'd say that's a 7-yard gain. We'll call it 2nd and 3. Wezike in there on the stop for Tulsa, but at the moment, you're right, the dominant force in this game is their Virginia Tech offensive line.
Yeah, they are just knocking people off the ball. They're getting a hat for a hat. They have this Tulsa defense. They don't know if they're coming or going right now.
Time Coleman. And again, just benefiting from tremendous blocking. He should be right at the first down, and it is a 10-yard gain. Linscott, I should say, and Mudo in there on the stop. But at this point, right now, Tulsa's got to figure out a way to stop this running game, or Virginia Tech's going to run them right out.
Got a great block from Sam Rogers on a tight end type of wham, taking out the backside guy, and that opened that hole.
Irello jet here with Ford. He could throw it. Thought he was for a moment. Doesn't need to. He gets tossed there on a clean tackle, though, by McKinley Whitfield. But he has that ability, and the great athletes all have it. Man, they go at full speed even with cutting.
And he has thrown it a couple of times this year, Dave. 1 for 2 in the passing department is Isaiah Ford.
He gained 8 there, 2nd down and 2.
And he is a lefty.
Now Rogers, he wants a piece of this, and Rogers will get in the end zone.
He just shredded the tackle attempt by Matt Linscott.
His first carry results in 6 for the Hokies.
That was a really poor effort by Linscott. Did not wrap up and throws the shoulder into it. Watch him, he's coming across at the top right here, 38.
Oh, wow.
That's just not football.
I was surprised at that.
I am too.
96,
a good player.
Number 2 in the American in tackles for loss. Linscott had 16 coming into the game.
He almost went after him like he was hurt.
24-14, 5:28 remaining in this Camping World Independence Bowl. And by the way, yes, we have said, remember I said I don't think I've seen an Independence Bowl start like this. Well, that's because it hasn't. It's already the highest scoring first quarter in the long history of this game.
Another one that doesn't quite make it into the stands back there. Those people
Slide's
that dodge
made once again out of
I think they're getting a little tired of Joey Sly, but he's not.
One of the teams.
Evans, quick throw. That's a sweet little move there, and then the turf monster got him. That was Josh Atkinson. Looked like he was going to go a long way. He gets 11 as we approach the 5-minute mark of this opening quarter.
Well, you hear so much about Kieris Garrett, and rightly so, but I was real impressed watching number 88, Josh Atkinson, on film prior to this game. He plays the left side outside receiver, and Garrett plays the right side outside.
And don't forget, they lost Lucas early in the year, and he was a great player for them last season. And you see now how Virginia Tech's defense has put the clamps on the Golden Hurricane after the opening 2 drives, which Tulsa just ran down their throats. That has changed.
It hasn't, and what Bud Foster started to do was bring a little more pressure. They were sitting back early and playing a lot of man, and they're in man again right now. But he went to more pressure.
Evans a little bit off the back foot that time, fighting for. Oh, what a sweet catch by Atkinson. He brought it in with one hand. Wow, down to about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Chuck Clark on coverage. What happened? I mean, this was an incredible play at the end. He turns around, and that's he's got it with the left, Dave, and then closed it up with the right hand. But these are the kind of plays these receivers have been making.
They go to the ground, though. Langer a yard, and he earned every inch of it. Shagog, number 24, came up, and Corey Marshall, 96, hit him low. 2nd down and goal.
Because Tulsa substituted, then the officials give Virginia Tech the time to do the same.
Evans to the 5 and in. I believe that should be a touchdown, and it is. Bishop Louis.
I think the coverage was blown by Virginia Tech as they're moving guys around. They have one guy who doesn't end up covering anybody. Number 19, Chuck Clark, was on his way over from the other side and never got over to the edge. I'm not saying it was his man, but there was some confusion on this defense as the tempo is starting to wear on Virginia Tech.
And Louis' first touchdown of the season, 9 plays, 75 yards, and 309.
Kicking into that wind.
And it's caught. 5-yard line. This is J.C. Coleman. He got popped at around the 25-yard line. It's Malik going into a blocking position for Rogers, and Rogers has a determined way about him as he gets to the 42-yard line. We check in with Jane.
Well, senior Michael Brewer proving some of that leadership down here on the field. After that Isaiah Ford touchdown, he went up to all of his guys, and, you know, Isaiah Ford has 2 touchdowns today, but instead of congratulating him, he wanted to make sure that he congratulated his guys up front. He said, great tempo, way to be a bully in the trenches. Really liking what he's seeing so far. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jane. I think what we're going to see is the end of a crazy fun first quarter. 45 points put up. That's a record for this bowl game. When we come back, Virginia Tech will have the football. 3rd down and about 1.5 yards to go from the Tulsa 40-yard line. Frank Beamer's final game gotten off to a memorable and fast and explosive start. Flybys, painted people, touchdowns for the Golden Hurricane, and also for his Hokies. We can tell you that Donovan Riley right there with the visor and that strap out for the rest of this game. He was injured while diving for an interception. He's a senior out of Baltimore, so that'll do it. Yeah, it is. Now on 3rd down and a couple, they go to Trayvon McMillan. He'll get a first down and keep this drive alive for the Hokies. In that first quarter, we had 18 first downs, 5 plays of 40 yards or more, 45 points, and 463 total yards.
And Tulsa's changed things a little bit. They brought Michael Muto, their leading tackler, #1, who's sitting right here right now. He was up in the box playing run all the way.
That's Isaiah Ford, top playmaker for Tech, going to the top of your screen, looking all the way toward him, makes the catch, gets the first down, and he is almost thrown out of bounds violently by Broderick Umblance, but it's a smart tackle, and it's a first down extra gain of 18.
And Broderick Umblance gave Ford way too much respect. There's 10, 15 yards in front of him. He never shows up. Now he finally does right there. That's too much respect.
5 catches and a $125 already for Ford, who checks out of the game.
You know, especially on a 3rd and 8. You know, we used to play a technique we called sticks, where you line up at the sticks at that first down marker, and you that way you know where they have to go.
So they go Wildcat with Hodges, and he scores. They bring in a 6'7" tight end, go Wildcat, and they dunk it in for 6.
That is one that surprises me. They never told us they were going to do that one. They do have Brandon Motley, the quarterback who filled in while Brewer was out, who's known as a running quarterback. But they put the big man Hodges in there, gave him a chance, and he took a full advantage.
Pretty much untouched on his way to the end zone. We can safely say that's his first rushing touchdown of the year. He did have 6 as a receiver.
I'm almost surprised that Tulsa didn't burn a timeout there once they recognized that, if they did.
How do you not?
You're right. He's big enough.
He's 6 inches and 50 pounds heavier than Michael Brewer.
Hey, there's something different about this one. Wait a minute. Oh, it's Bucky Hodges. And he got a great block on the edge again. We keep rolling.
There is our score in time. Virginia Tech 31-21, and it's the second quarter with 13 minutes until halftime. Hope you're enjoying this one. If you're an offensive-minded fan, this is your kind of day. And we've already had more points in this game than the last 18 bowl games here in Shreveport. Whoever the title sponsor is, of course, Camping World is here this year.
I love what Frank Beamer just did. He just went over to Donovan Riley, his senior, who's out of this game, put his arm around him, had a few words with him. You know, in the middle of the ball game. That just, to me, tells you exactly what you need to know about Frank Beamer.
Evans fakes it once. He thought about it.
He should have ran it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to, and I think Connor Floyd might have felt the same reason, the same thought, I should say. So it's 4th down and about 6.
Yeah, I agree. Floyd thought that Evans was going to run, so he stopped his route and was going to try to block for him, and Evans changed his mind and threw it.
So back out is Dalton Parks. Now Parks going to have a little bit of a breeze at his back. His first 2 punts were a little rough.
He didn't hit him.
Stroman is back deep, and this time they're going to go with a single guy back here, Virginia Tech, single player. It looks like they might be getting aggressive along that line.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the wind as well, that they're looking to maybe block one as well.
They put a little pressure on, and this is rooted. And it's going to land for a touchback to the 20-yard line. Brewer ad-libbing here. Does he throw it away? No, he comes back and makes a play. Beautiful tightrope on the sideline by J.C. Coleman. That's a first down after an 11-yard gain.
This is an outstanding job of Coleman of staying alive. He's the back in the backfield right here. He's going to run to the outside and protect his quarterback, and then he's going to send him deep, but he knows that that guy's got him beat deep. So he puts the brakes on and gives his quarterback a nice target.
So Brewer so far 8 of 12 for 146 and a score, and that was a great effort by Coleman to keep the feet in too. That was an NFL catch. He had them both in. Staying on the ground, Coleman getting a lot of work in this half, and he'll get into Golden Hurricane territory. Picked up a dozen there, getting to the 47-yard line. Coleman, a senior from Chesapeake, Virginia, had not carried the ball all that much this year.
And he read the cut this time. And is back off the block of Sam Rogers. A little cutback maneuver, and he found a gaping hole.
Now McMillan will come right back in for the Hokies, number 34.
Virginia Tech rolling up the yardage on the ground, 158 already.
And that keeps that explosive Tulsa attack right where Frank Beamer wanted it, sitting on the bench. Play action fake again. Brewer wants the deep shot. One-on-one with Ford, and did he make the catch is the question. He did, and there's a flag down as well. I didn't know if that ball had hit the ground or not. It's a remarkable catch of 46 yards and almost a touchdown.
And Barrow can't cover him, so he's had to foul him. And it happened again. And Ford did such a great job of adjusting to the football. You know, he was almost out by the numbers.
Pass interference
and ends
by
up catching it inside the hash.
The penalty is declined.
The penalty obviously is declined. It'll be a first down and goal from about the 1.5. And you can see the football did not touch the ground. That's a clean catch.
Another highlight reel type play for Isaiah Ford.
McMillan again patient, and again the Hokies are in the end zone. We're a moment away from having our 59th point at 9:09 in the second quarter.
Tulsa defense is reeling. And it's not like they've been out on the field all that long here so far today.
This is a Tech team, Ray, that averaged 29 points a game coming into this. They have not punted. They've had 5 touchdowns and a field goal in their 6 drives.
Well, this drive got started here by Isaiah Ford adjusting to the football, making the grab, and then Virginia Tech tacks on more points with this great touchdown run here to the outside. Trayvon McMillan busting tackles into the end zone.
And you just saw Trayvon McMillan punch it in from a yard out after the long pass to Isaiah Ford. And Virginia Tech 38-21 over Tulsa. 9:09 to go in the second quarter. An unbelievable offensive display from the Hokies. And the Golden Hurricane now feeling from the bottom of the deck right here, trying to make a comeback against a team they can't stop.
Yeah, and that's been the issue, and the difference in this game is Virginia Tech made changes and figured things out on defense. Tulsa has yet to do so.
And I think Tulsa's had no chance in the kicking game here because Evans in trouble. Oof, well, he took a shot. Well, he hesitated and he got dunked.
Motu Apuaka, the linebacker, comes through on a green dog type blitz. And by green dog, I mean he did not have blitz initially, but his assignment was to cover a back. Well, the back started blocking, so he takes off as a rusher now. And a lot of times those guys don't get picked up, and if that ball doesn't come out, you see the result.
Motu Apuaka's 4th sack of the year. Redshirt's on board from Virginia Beach. Now you go empty backfield on 3rd and 14, and they are a little slow here. They're going to take this down to under 5 seconds to snap. Got to think Garrett's the man here, and he is cut down immediately. He did make the catch, but Adonis Alexander, a freshman from Charlotte, cut him down after a gain of 4. It's 4th down.
Virginia Tech has some really young, talented defensive backs, and Adonis Alexander is one of them. He just fires up and hits Garris right on the kneecap. There's another one of the youngsters that play extremely well. Terrell Edmonds, who was a redshirt freshman. That Hokie backfield.
So you've got Cam Phillips as the up man and Greg Stroman as the deep man. This is a high kick. Stroman seems disinterested in fair catches, and he's got some blockers. 50, 45, one man to beat. They're not going to catch him. Beamer ball.
You gotta love it. Frank Beamer sat with us last night and said, I think we got something maybe on our returns. Well, coach was right.
He came into our meeting clutching the special teams game plan for this game. Right to the end, he's coaching him up. 67-yard return following the 42-yard punt.
Yeah, he said the game has changed a little bit with that wedge protection where they put the 3 big guys. He said that takes away coverage men. Ultimately, there's about 6 guys who are legitimate cover men in the punting game. And he thought that they could get us some returns against this Tulsa team, and they sure have.
So as that PAT goes over the goalpost, it's Virginia Tech in charge.
Strowman, this is a dream. He gets the initial block, and then this thing opens up like the Red Sea, and he puts the hammer down. There is nobody left. Strowman, Beamer ball to the house.
Another blasted kick. This is returnable. First time today for Bishop Louis. And he will be knocked out of bounds at the 23-yard line. More strong special teams.
Well, look how deep the safety is here for Virginia Tech. And they are not, and Bud Foster has said that they're not going to let them throw it over their head.
Evans is going to take off, and he's got some green in front of him, and he'll slide. It was a race to see if he would get to the first down marker. You see he did not, as Adonis Alexander had ill intent in mind as he came up from his cornerback position. So it's 2nd down and a yard to go.
2nd and 1.
See the total yards definitely now favoring Virginia Tech, as is the score. That's just a straight ahead play and a very late flag coming in. Warren picked up the first down. I'll be curious to see what this flag is.
A personal foul, grabbing the face mask by number 90 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And they caught Daddy Nicholas on that, the redshirt senior from Delray Beach, Florida, near Boca Raton. And that'll be a first down. It was going to be that or a very late holding call.
Yeah. Nicholas started the year with a broken hand, broke his hand in camp, and it really slowed him up initially. And just now he's kind of getting his sea legs, so to speak.
8th play of the drive coming up.
Langer's a big weapon down in this red zone.
He's got it again, and he's tripped up. Short gain, 2nd and goal coming up, maybe a yard.
That was a great penetration on the blitz by Shagog. He got in there very quickly. And they're going fast. They've slowed it down now.
Yeah, you don't often see Tulsa do the look with me.
Yeah. This kid, the tight end, number 3, Mandel Dixon, is one of the best blockers I've seen all year.
They're going to throw toward the end zone, and it looked like there was some confusion. Garrett was looking one way for the ball. The ball came the other way. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
I don't care for the body language of Kieris Garrett at times.
Did you say that last year too?
Yeah, I did.
You did. I remember you saying that.
You know, and from everything that I hear, he's really a team-oriented guy, not selfish, anything like that. But I just don't like a guy acting like, hey, somebody else messed up, it wasn't me kind of thing. You don't need that.
Triangle formation at the top of your screen. Evans looking in that direction. In trouble and sacked for the 3rd time. Mahota got him. Vinny Mahota, the redshirt freshman from Fredericksburg. Now an interesting decision here. Do you take 3 or a chance of 3, or do you just throw it in the end zone?
Yeah, here's Mahota, and he's just going to keep fighting and keep digging. He got the inside move. He spins, fights back, and is still able to get it done, even with a man draped all over him.
And it will be, looks like the field goal squad's coming out. You got to get some points on the board somehow.
And you can see the look on Coach Montgomery's face, a little disgruntled that that one didn't turn into 6 points for him.
29-yard attempt here for Redford Jones, a sophomore from Norman, Oklahoma. 16-24 on the year. He's had a couple blocked. And that one's hooking, but it is good.
Redford Jones.
So Tulsa needed to slow down that Hokie train, and they did, but only with 3. 12 plays, 65 yards, and 445, and a field goal for Philip Montgomery's Golden Hurricane. They needed something very desperately now. In the remaining 2:26, can their defense hold off what's been a smoking hot Virginia Tech offense, accounting for almost all of the scores? One of them, of course, a punt return TD for Virginia Tech.
in this type of situation because he's the best pass protector they have in the backfield.
And he stays in right there. In the meantime, a deep shot down the field into double coverage, trying to get it into Hodges. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Whitfield among the defenders there.
I was going to say, Dave, if I'm going to throw a deep ball to Hodges, I'm going to not overthrow him. I'm going to throw it up and let him out jump everybody. At 6'7", nobody has a chance. They like to line him up out wide when they get down on the goal line and throw the fade to him.
So now if you're Tulsa, wait a minute. You may get back into this, may get the football back here if your defense can do something they haven't done much of so far this evening, and that's going to stop.
Yeah, they're giving Ford a lot of respect down here at the bottom.
They rush only 3. Brewer's going to scramble, fire, and it is almost intercepted. Jeremy Brady, number 22, knocking that away as they try to fit it into Malik, and it's 4th down and 8 with 1:14 to go.
Great coverage by Brady all over Malik, and he's giving away some size there. Brady at 5'10", 197, Malik 6'5", 253, but he hung in with the bigger man and made the play.
So, folks, let's introduce you to the Virginia Tech punter. His name is A.J. Hughes. He's a senior from Terre Haute, Indiana, and he is 2nd all-time in the ACC. Remember Alex Kinnell from Wake Forest? This is the guy who's behind him. Alex Kinnell is the all-time punt leader. And this is high, but the wind is really holding this up. And it's going to take a skip backwards and be down at around the 35-yard line. He got a good foot into that, but the wind, and you can see Hughes sort of hobbling around on that left leg. Only a 27-yard punt. D'Angelo Brewer is the tailback. Rules of golf are too stuffy.
Yeah, honestly.
Brewer pops it up the middle. Where's the safety? There he is, just a little bit down the field. Chuck Clark, the quarterback, making a stop. That's a significant gain of 32 yards.
And there's only 5 men in the box for Virginia Tech, so you had a hat for a hat, and that's why that play sprung.
That was a great call, really, from Philip Montgomery. Now Evans comes back. This is going to be Garrett. He wants to get OB. He did not. A good tackle that time kept him from getting out of bounds, but they do get a 1st down. That stops the clock for the moment until the ball is marked ready for play.
30-second timeout.
This is the area they like to take deep shots. Throw
Tulsa
it down in the end zone there.
Going to take a timeout. Yeah, I think now's the perfect opportunity to take your timeout. Philip Montgomery, who, by the way, lost a couple of coaches to Texas earlier this month, is calling plays.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men in the box. So you got a hat for a hat, Dave, and they blocked them up really good. A little inside pull by the guard, and the safeties are so deep that they don't show up until it's 20 yards down the field.
So now with 44 seconds to go, Evans, will he take that shot? He wants to. A little lob, touch pass. Oh, did he hang on?
He thinks he did.
He did not. I think we have 2 calls here. Ray, one official said touchdown. The other official said incomplete.
And usually they go with incomplete. Yeah.
Yep, the back judge has the call.
I think he lost it on the way down to the ground. Here he is, a little rub route, and he decides to take it deep based on the coverage. He's got it right there, and that's where I thought he might have lost it when he went down. It's hard to see.
There's your look. Clean so far.
He got that in both hands. I don't see the ball move at all. That's a touchdown to me.
This, I gotta believe this is going to get some extra attention.
No,
no,
that's right out. Didn't it?
Back judge is dead on.
Yeah. Look at the safety all the way back, and he backpedaled into the end zone.
And there's Atkinson, and he'll be dragged down to the 10-yard line. And again, until the ball's marked ready for play, Tulsa can get up to the line of scrimmage very early, face it on the stop.
Bud Foster throughout the evening has played with that safety deep. Now that the field is shortened, there's nobody back in that deep middle.
Fade, Atkinson, knocked away. Beautifully done by Edmonds. All 3 Edmonds brothers getting an opportunity there. Terrell Edmonds, a redshirt freshman from Danville, on the field with Tremaine Edmonds. There they are, 22 and 49.
This is great awareness of finding the football. And so many guys don't look back in time, and that's when you get yourself in trouble. That's perfect technique by Edmonds.
And now Evans wants to make absolutely sure, going against Bud Foster's defense. Go inside, said Bud. Go inside. Who could he be motioning to there? Find out in a moment. They go to the ground. To Brewer. Brewer scores!
Touchdown,
Always got to watch Brewer.
Same as that previous big run that busted, Dave. Just 5 men in the box. Virginia Tech adjusted, and they started going with 6 in the box so that they wouldn't get gashed like that. But because they were so spread out down here, they only had 5.
Well, you realize this drive began with a great run by Brewer and ends with a run by Brewer. In between that, Dane Evans hooking up with his receivers, and Tulsa clawing their way back in. Now they're still going to be down 45-31, but still gives them a little bit of hope as they head to the dressing room here shortly. Brewer
Kind of done in all phases. A typical Frank Beamer football team effort here in the first half.
So Philip Montgomery, offensive coordinator and head coach for this game.
Can't be too upset in terms of the offense. They put 31 up here, but
you think about that. 31 would normally get you a lead at halftime.
Not too bad. Yeah, you're on a pace for 62, a point a minute, and then some.
And if that happens, you'll lose by 28, and you'll lose to that guy, Frank Beamer, who's standing by with Jane Slater.
Coach, your offense scored early and often in this first half. Did you expect them to come out with that sort of speed and focus?
Well, I'm proud of our offense, our defense, and give credit to their quarterback. He's made some great throws. They got some excellent wide receivers, reading us a little bit, handing it off when they got numbers, and we gotta adjust to that a little bit. We're making it too easy for them on their offense right now, I feel.
With that being said, I don't think I've seen you smile bigger than when you saw that return for a touchdown. Classic Beamer ball. Can we expect more of that in the second half?
I hope so. You know, we made some good blocks right there. We got a guy that wants to return it, so hopefully.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Jane. That is the end of our opening half. Let's send it back to the studio for our Coke Zero halftime report with Mayday. Here's Sean Saunders. This is the Camping World Independence Bowl. Breezy but pleasant evening here in the Shreveport Bossier City area. And an unbelievable first half of offense, a little bit of defense, a special teams touchdown, and that is an all-time record for most points in a half in bowl history. That's either first or second half, by the way. Our research staff made double sure. Ray Bentley, Dave Lamont. We'll hear from Jane Slater in a moment. Well, Frank Beamer wants a little more. Can he get it to 90 at this pace? That's what they're going for. That's obviously not likely to happen, but the things that he wanted done in the game, which is to keep his offense on the field for a while, once things did start to settle in a little bit, and we weren't having all these gigantic plays that made the game so short, things started to tilt the field their way. Virginia Tech's going to take a run out. This is Coleman from very deep in the end zone, and he'll get short of the 20-yard line. And Jane Slater, you had a chance to catch up with Tulsa coach Philip Montgomery.
I did. You know what? He's not nervous
Stop
about this
at the 18-yard line by Sean
second-half
Foreman.
team. They've been here before. He said they just got to keep believing, keep fighting. He said there's one adjustment they've got to make. It's they've got to settle down and tackle better. But he says they're good. They're ready to roll, guys.
All right. For a guy down by 14, he jogged off the field in what appeared to be a halfway decent mood based on the way his offense finished. But now can his defense, which should be refreshed after the halftime break, do something against Virginia Tech? Now this could be a double pass here. This is Hodges. He's in trouble, and he got away from one, and he made something out of nothing. Before Derek Lugin belted him out of bounds. That was a tremendous play by Bucky Hodges, what looked like it was going to be a big loss.
Yeah, you see, obviously it's a lateral, as Hodges was quite deep. Thought about throwing it, then he shook up Martin, got by yet another defender, Alexander, before getting run out of bounds. That's a great effort.
Gains 5, or it could have been a loss of 5. We'll never know if he was going to throw it off of that lateral because Tulsa swarmed him. Trey Edmonds now, the third of the Edmonds brothers, getting an opportunity. He's at the tailback position. His Tech has gone over 400 yards, 410, and Ford has 202 of those. And Edmonds gets the football. And with some fresh legs, he'll get across the 30, and he'll get a first down to the 37-yard line. So all three Edmonds brothers, Jane Slater, has an opportunity to see some field time today.
They are the third set of trio to play here for Virginia Tech. These brothers, Terrell, Tremaine, and Trey. You know, it's exciting for the family to be able to see these three guys take the field, but they're not here for this game. Instead, they are back home in Virginia. The brothers tell me that their parents are foster parents and taking care of 3 boys. They wanted to make sure they had a proper Christmas, but they were able to FaceTime them yesterday. They say what they love about the fact that their parents do this is that these boys look up to them as role models. So they like to have their parents here, but they understand why they're doing it, and I'm sure that they want to put on a good show for them back home, guys.
All right, Jane, thank you very much. And Sam Rogers' pass was a touch underwhelming. It'll be 2nd down and 10, as that time they went with the fake and tried to go for the Rogers with the pass, and it didn't work.
Yeah, them gloves, he was looking at the gloves, kind of blaming it on them, and the ball did slip out of his hands, I will say that.
And I'll tell you what, Rogers is a heck of an athlete. What a great move that was. Made a couple of sweet moves after he caught the football. Down to the 12-yard line goes the junior from Mechanicsville, Virginia.
And this is a great example of the vision that Rogers has, because he's going to see the guys coming from the inside. He makes the first man miss, and then watch, see that little move right there. He saw that thing coming from a mile away, set it up, and put the shake on Jeremy Brady.
So Rogers with 47 total yards and a TD. Also an excellent blocker.
Here he is going in motion.
Trayvon McMillan back into the tail. He'll get it following the offensive line that has performed so well. He'll gain 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Looked like Eric Gallo, 64, the center, was the guy to follow that time.
This offensive line has played extremely well, Dave. You don't run up these kind of numbers in terms of points and yards if the big guys up front aren't getting it done. And they came into this game set and ready to roll, and they have performed.
So Hodges is going to go back in on the 14th play of the drive in that wildcat position. Does he have a pass in him here?
He was attempting to throw one on that double pass, so they're not afraid to have him do it.
He's going to run straight ahead. Down to the 2. He'll be close to the 1st down. Michael Muto finished him off.
Hodges is a load when he comes up in there. At 6'7", 241, you can't discount the fact that he's a big target, but he's a powerful target.
He got a 1st down.
Some interesting tattoos on the back of his arms.
He's not modest about it.
No, apparently not. Although
the Brewer's going to go under center for this one.
Maybe he's referring to something other than himself.
Very possible. You're right. Handoff, McMillan in there. And that was Edmonds, number 14. And Trey Edmonds punches in the touchdown.
And it's all behind Wyatt Teller, who's having a great ball game. As good as a left guard performance as I've ever seen. Watch him come and just pull around and lead the way up into the hole. You get a good block from Rogers as well, just finishing things off. Look at that. I mean, Teller, he pushed Martin 4 yards deep into the backfield.
You were saying, and you weren't joking when you said it, that you thought Teller was a player of the game today.
He's played as well as anybody I've seen. And Teller, he's getting it done. You can bank on it.
Really?
Sorry.
15-play, 81-yard drive, 7:22, and you're taking a look at easily one of our players of the game for Virginia Tech, Wyatt Teller. Well, we had a return finally from Bishop Louis, but Sly with the wind at his back has been spectacular. And this one's not too shabby either. And they'll take a knee and take it to the 25-yard line. D'Angelo Brewer, number 4, is the tailback.
Tulsa definitely cut back on the tempo.
Evans, slant pattern. Atkinson with a diving grab at the 43-yard line for a 7-yard pickup. 2nd down and 3.
One of the things Evans has improved at dramatically is his footwork. And when Philip Montgomery brought him in initially, showed him some film and pointed out all kinds of things that we have a lot of work to do. Well, give Evans credit.
Fumble on the exchange. Brewer comes up with a football, but a significant loss back to the 49-yard line. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, the blitz is coming off the edge. This is not a time you want to bobble that snap. And it looked like the snap was off to his right, almost to Brewer rather than Evans.
Three out of 9, 3rd down. See, this is the pace. This is not a customary pace for this Tulsa team.
And that middle of the field is wide open. Look at 2-man coverage.
Sweet catch as he inbounds. No, says the official. Incomplete, 4th down. One official made that signal that he bobbled the football, did not control it when he landed.
And Terrell Edmonds is going to come from his linebacker spot, being on the edge, and he's going to be the man in coverage, and he's going to get there and just force Atkinson out of bounds. And that's frustrating for Coach Montgomery.
I don't see a punter. I see Evans still out there.
Well, if you're playing to win this thing, you know, you got 20 minutes to play or so. You got to take some chances being down 21.
They got to hurry on the snap, though. They're down to 4 to 3, 2.
Quick kick.
You got it. And it just rolls harmlessly into the end zone. So Virginia Tech will take the football over the 20-yard line. They've been an offensive juggernaut tonight with an Independence Bowl record 7 touchdowns. So Virginia Tech setting touchdown records, scoring records, first half points records, all sorts of records in this game. Brewer hung in the pocket and he's picked off. Taken by Brady to the 25. Brady will get inside the 15 and spun down by Brewer at around the 10-yard line. Jeremy Brady's second pick gives Tulsa life.
And I'm sure Brewer made that tackle out of anger, and he should be mad at himself. This is a ball he has to eat. He was trying to get it to his tight end, Ryan Malik, right over the middle here. You see Martin with great coverage, and then at the last second, he tries to force it into Phillips, into all kinds of traffic. You got to eat that one.
So Brewer on the stop. But that's a 43-yard interception return. He saved the touchdown with that tackle, and all of a sudden
going to keep his head up, but other than that, not bad form.
Dane Evans has been handed a tremendous opportunity at the 9-yard line. Evans up the gut for the score. Nobody saw that coming.
It's that old Cam Newton play. They fake that sweep, and all Evans does is he reads the middle linebacker, Matuapuaka, and Matuapuaka, he flies out of there. So watch number 54. Watch him get out of there. He's going to the edge, and it sets up an easy block and a nice cut by Evans to get it up the gut. And the other thing to consider, Dave, is this Tulsa offense can score very quickly. But they have to get it done on defense if they have any chance of a comeback. They got to make some stops.
Well, the hold is bobbled, and look out. So that penalty cost them a point they may need later.
Frank Beamer comes out on top in another special teams play.
Well, that one was a mistake by Dalton Parks, the holder. It looks to be a problem with the hold here. Let's take a look at it again.
He ended up having it set, but the kicker bailed on him. Jones, a lot of times you'll see guys hop, step, and then at least take a swipe at it, but that wasn't the case.
If they have a trick up their sleeve or just use the wind at their advantage and blast it into the suite. And that's the goal here. But it comes up short. Return chance here for Green. And Green will do something with this down the sideline before he is hurled out of bounds around the 40-yard line. Nope. And you see, thank you, Coach Beamer. Buzz Williams, the basketball coach at Virginia Tech, after the retirement of Beamer was announced, wore a Frank Beamer T-shirt on the bench during a Virginia Tech basketball game the next day. Brewer looking deep, goes medium, beautifully run route that time.
Really nice combination on the deal. Hodges just cuts underneath Ford, and the timing and running this thing, the protection is what was key. And that takes a long time from run from one side of that field all the way deep to the other.
Hodges has earned the post-game sandwich. Down to 5. Let's see if they let the quarter expire. J.C. Coleman is the tailback.
They do, maybe unbeknowingly, they let it go.
Yep, they go on with it, and Coleman So that's going to be 521 total yards for Virginia Tech in this game. And there is 1 quarter left in Frank Beamer's distinguished career that began at Murray State. And he joined Virginia Tech in 1987. So the final quarter of Frank Beamer's career is about to begin. And right now his team has the edge over Tulsa, 52-37. A jacked up Hokie sideline. And why not? They've been in control of this game since the middle of the first quarter, but you doubt that Coach Beamer's going to relax until it's all zeros on the clock and his team is in front. Keep an eye on Ford there as he dashes toward the top of your screen. Brewer looking in that direction. There's Ford. Oh, and it should have been intercepted, and nobody knows it more than Jeremy Brady, who almost had his second pick of the night.
And all Brady's doing is playing a too deep look, and he just backpedals. And you're right, I don't think Brewer saw him, and there's no reason that he didn't, because he really didn't do anything special. I think Ford should have kept his route a little wider because the corner came off of him. And when you see that, then you want to get away from the safety and adjust that route.
This is easily field goal range for Joey Sly. Pressure here, got it out fast. Good coverage that time, and it'll be 4th down and 8. Kerwin Thomas wasn't given an inch on that coverage.
No, and I think Brewer expected Phillips to break outside on that play, and he broke inside right into the coverage of Kerwin Thomas.
So Sly is on. He's got that breeze at his back. He's a strong kicker anyway. This will be 42, it looks like. 1 for 1 on the day.
He might bomb this thing out of the stadium the way he's been kicking it.
The scoreboard's in danger here. No trouble at all. And he once again kicked it over to his friends over in the suites in the end zone, where a lot of his footballs have gone tonight. And Virginia Tech has now put Tulsa in a 3-score situation with 11:09 remaining in the Camping World Independence Bowl. Locking up those triceps. 55 push-ups. Virginia Tech in charge here of the Camping World Independence Bowl. 55-37. 11:09 remaining. However, still some time.
Yeah, those are the words you don't want to hear, Dave. Drop and give me 55.
It's a pledge pin on your uniform. One of Sly's shorter kickoffs. Well, Jane, this has been a month of tributes for Frank Beamer, and they didn't end. He got another one last night.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Frank Beamer is looking to march out of here with a win for his final game. Did some marching last night. You know, he played in his high school band in Hillsville, Virginia, and the Marching Virginians gave him this trombone. Looks like he was having a lot of fun. I asked the staff if he still knows how to play. They said he did, and that wasn't just a prop. He was actually enjoying himself playing a little bit of music. Guys, the only thing I'm disappointed in is that we didn't get invited to this party. Looked like it was a fun one.
It's the Pied Piper right there.
Well, he'll have a lot more to celebrate if his defense can hang on in the next 11:49. And Tech bringing some heat. It's held up. One-on-one. Garrett right here makes the grab. And a little shaken up, a little crampy right there.
Cramping up for sure.
33-yard pickup.
Oh, show. And it's a beautiful throw. I mean, it's just perfect. There's no way Garrett's not going to bring one like this in, but came up worse for wear, but he stayed in the ball game despite the limping.
There is no one back deep for Virginia Tech here, and they're going to try to take advantage of that one-on-one coverage. And excellent defense, stride for stride, was Edmonds.
That is ideal body position. And not only that, Dave, but he was able to kind of use his body and get the head back. You see how he kind of makes the contact, nothing egregious that would draw a flag. But as soon as you get contact on that receiver, now you don't need to put your eyes on him. You've got him. So you can turn your eyes back, look for the football. Well done.
Garrett back out there, number 1 at the bottom of your screen. That's the second really solid play that Terrell Edmonds has made. Remember, he batted a pass down in the end zone earlier. And both times he had ideal position. Now Evans looking left, throws underneath Atkinson. He will not break a sure tackle. Again, Chuck Clark, the first defensive back at Virginia Tech in 12 years with over 100 tackles.
Great coverage. And that's just man-to-man. I got my guy, you get your guy. And locking it down.
Coming up to the 9-minute mark with Virginia Tech in front by 18. Fourth down coming up. The center of that Tech defense didn't budge running into Zach Langer.
And they did a great job of also taking away the quarterback on that zone read play. We've seen Evans convert some short third downs by pulling it, and at that time it was totally taken away by Ken Ekanum, the defensive end. He had quarterback responsibility. There was no way. Evans saw it, couldn't beat him, had to hand it off.
So Tulsa on the year 52% tonight, 1 for 1, and if they're going to do a 3-score miraculous comeback, might ride right here. Langer, he's been the bell cow on short yardage, and he gets it done again. And the ball popped loose, and Tulsa has it. I don't know if he was ruled down anyway, but it's still a first down for the Golden Hurricanes.
Right, because even where it was recovered, they still had enough yardage to gain that first down. Take a look at Langer here at the end and see if this thing pops out and when. Yeah, that looks like it's out to me, but it's a moot point because it is covered up, and it's enough for a first down by Dixon Jr., that tight end that blocks like a madman.
Evans going again into double coverage. Oh, Atkinson, what a sweet grab. Touchdown, Tulsa. Oh, and you throw it that well, it doesn't matter how many DBs are down there.
And then juxtaposition to the previous cover we saw by Terrell Edmonds. Chuck Clark never gets his eyes back. I mean, he could have made a play on this football, but he never saw it, and of course the receiver did, and that's why you got your touchdown.
So now they do not bring out the kicking squad. They leave Evans out. They're going to try to get this down to 2.
Well, yeah, you need to kick this. You know, there's no need to go for 2 right now. You go for 2 when it matters, and at a 12-point deficit, you still have a lot of things that happen. 11, you're still within 2 scores. I don't like this.
Evans going to roll out, going to gun it, and going to hit it.
I like it a lot better now.
To Garrett. And it's 55-45. 100 points. 7:35 remaining, and you got to start being prepared for an onside kick if you're Virginia Tech.
Well, they don't cover Garrett on this one. Somehow he slides through the defense with nobody on him. Wide open. We got a 10-point game.
Just when you think you can count Tulsa out, they keep fighting and pulling
them back in.
They do. Thank you. Godfather 3 reference. 100 points in this game. It's going to be a touchback. All right, John, thank you very much. At least we are entertaining. At least the game is entertaining at 55-45. This is Ford on the jet sweep action, and Ford almost got the first down. A little shoestring tackle by Jeremy Brady stopped him after a 7-yard gain. Hey, if you're going to run long, entertain the folks with a good game, and we have one here, the Camping World Independence Bowl.
Tulsa needs to do something on defense. And one takeaway thus far today.
Brewer coming out.
Yeah. Down here at the bottom. Got Hodges at quarterback again.
And he hasn't thrown it yet, and he's going to run it. That's a big tight end, but they're waiting for him that time. Suits number 28 was not fooled, and neither was Jesse Brubaker.
Yeah, that's about the 3rd or 4th time they've seen it, Dave, and they said, okay, we're on to you now. We basically run the same play every time.
They're sticking with it? No, Brewer's back out there. So is Hodges. He has played, it seems like 1,000 plays. Now Trey Edmonds comes into the tailback position. That's some fresh legs at that spot. So you better believe that Michael Brewer will be taking this play clock down into single digits.
Power formation.
Now you got to look for Ford. Brewer in some trouble. Pressure from the backside. He's going to have to eat it. Tulsa holds with 6:04 to go.
Brewer had his man Sam Rogers open in the flat initially, but he didn't get the ball out to him. Philip Montgomery says, yeah, baby, we got us a chance still. And his defense, and that's the thing, when you have an explosive offense, you just need your defense to make a few plays, key plays at moments in the game. And they've done it here in the fourth quarter. Virginia Tech 0 for 3 in their last 3 third down attempts.
That's the first time that I can remember that A.J. Hughes has kicked with the wind in his favor, and he's going to use it. But this is also giving Connor Floyd an opportunity. Floyd, oh, good coverage that time, but he ran right into Virginia Tech special teams.
End of opportunity.
2 yards after a 46-yard punt on that return. 5:55 to go. Tulsa down 10. Virginia Tech trying to hold on for Frank Beamer's final victory, which would be number 280 in a Hall of Fame coaching career. But Tulsa was down at one point in this game by 24 in the second quarter. And slowly but surely, they've crawled back to within 2 scores. Evans in some trouble. On the run. Great decision by Evans, and he'll get a first down out of it with Justin Hobbs on the grab to the 39-yard line, a gain of 15.
Oh, and Motu Apuaka had a chance for a sack, but he jumped up in the air to try and bat the ball down, and that bought Evans enough time to escape and make the throw.
Under 5 minutes remaining. Wide open was Atkinson, and he'll be brought down right at the marker. Bud Foster down to it. He's taking a knee.
The third knee of the day.
Philip Montgomery missing 2 offensive coaches who went to Texas this month. He's the offensive mind anyway, so he was the principal play caller, so that's not different. He's just missing a couple of people to be consulting with right now.
We asked him if he called the plays. He said every one of them.
Evans to the end zone for Garrett. Touchdown! He caught it!
Just a great throw over the top to Kieris Garrett, who got separation, got past, face on again.
We'll see exactly how he made a catch, and what a dime this is by Evans.
Garrett's so strong. It's so tough to play bump and run against him. You've got to get more of him than what Faison did in order to be successful.
So Garrett, his 7th catch for 129 yards. Evans now 25 of 40 for 348 and 3 scores.
Garrett trying to loosen that left shoulder up. That's what he landed on at the end of the play.
That was a 7-play, 76-yard drive in 2:08, 36-yard touchdown to cap it off. The records just keep piling up at the Camping World Independence Bowl. It's a 3-point game. It was a 24-point game at one point. And this Tulsa team, maybe they felt like they were a bit overlooked with the attention going toward the Hokies and Frank Beamer, but they're not overlooked anymore.
And watch him, Evans, step up into the pocket, and he avoids Daddy Nicholas. And his receiver, Garrett's got a step. That was thrown right into the basket. Frank Beamer can't believe it. 3:47 left on the clock. No need for an onside kick. There's plenty of time, and this Tulsa defense has risen up.
Yeah, but Tech's lined up for it.
Well, they got to play it, but he's not going to onside kick it.
So Coleman back there by himself. He's going to get a chance over the 5. Made one man miss. And he'll get it out to the 23-yard line. Tulsa has scored the last 15 points in the game.
They've outrushed or out total yardage. They have 153 in this quarter, 55 for Tech.
Brewer. And there's Ford. You got to go to your big playmaker.
Did he drop it?
Yes, the officials say he dropped it. I thought he had it, but the officials are coming in saying it's incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10. Let's see this again.
On the field,
I love the play call.
Pass. Second down.
Execution from Brewer. I mean, that ball's there, just a little low, and the tip touched the ground. Or did it? I mean, the ball can hit the ground as long as you have control of it. I don't think he had control of it.
High formation here for the Hokies. Still plenty of time in this game, and Tulsa has all of their timeouts.
Here comes the blitz.
They're going to go to Rogers. And he fights to get to the 25-yard line. 3rd down and 7 is next. Muto comes in, number 1, the senior from Houston, along with Jeremy Smith.
And they rolled Muto up after they blitzed Suits off the edge. Nice little replacement to make a play on D.
They leave Rodgers out there at the tailback position. You got to find out where Isaiah Ford is if you're Tulsa.
Right there.
Virginia Tech has missed their last 3 third downs after hitting 7 of the first 9. Pressure. Brewer steps into it. Dumps it off, and it's caught. 1st down, Ryan Malik. Oh, what a clutch play by Michael Brewer.
Great awareness, knowing where he was on the field and getting that pass off when it looked like he was running. In the line of scrimmage, he was just on it as he threw the ball. Right there, you see the line of scrimmage was about the 25. Excuse me, 25.
Clock running at 2:36. When do you start taking your timeouts if you're Tulsa?
I would say right after this down. Although you might wait till 2nd down.
Let's see. I got to think they're going to run it now.
Oh, yeah. Going to bleed them timeouts out of him.
Going to McMillan very carefully and nothing doing. And there's a timeout taken right away by Tulsa.
Tulsa calls their first timeout of the half.
Rodgers cuts back. He's got great footwork. And he'll get in between the 32 and 33-yard lines. Another timeout call. That's about a 5-yard gain. So Virginia Tech has got to get to the 47-yard line. They need about 5.
Ford up top now. But there's help right here for Muto. Where is he going to go? Into the box, or is he going to go?
He's going into box. Brewer's going slant. Missed it. Through behind Hodges. It's 4th down. 2:08 remaining.
I don't know if Hodges was expecting the ball. It looked to me like he was late reacting to it. Of course, everyone in the world, including us, thinks it's going to be Isaiah Ford. And he had a nice little stick on his route. That would have been a 1st down. I don't know that he saw the ball in time.
You have a problem with the call?
No, I like the call. The call was there. Now it saves Tulsa a timeout, but
that's what I was going to say.
Well, but the thing about it was there's so much time left in the college game with the stoppage of the clock after a 1st down. It's really
Tulsa will take the football with 2 minutes and a turnover from the 20-yard line. Field goal to send this to overtime.
It looks like a man-free defense to me. You got 6 in the box. Receivers covered up and a free safety in the deep middle.
It's going way back, and Evans is going to come out firing to Garrett. He's got to get out of bounds, and he does. Gets it out to the 28-yard line. That's an 8-yard pickup. 2nd down and a couple coming up. Just 6 seconds used there.
Here's Garrett not having too bad of a day himself.
Evans, of course, with the play clock having stopped, can take his time to get this signal right. See what Garrett has done. That last touchdown. They'll make this a 3-point game.
Interestingly, Atkinson is the leading receiver for Tulsa with 11 for 139.
They bring a little bit of heat. They go underneath. Hobbs breaks free. And he's brought down at the 46-yard line. A huge tackle made that time by Mook Reynolds, but it's an 18-yard gain and a 1st down.
Oh, and you can just see this Tulsa team is feeling it. Rhythm we talk about.
Pressure. Evans pats it. Gonna go one-on-one for Garrett. Overthrew him, incomplete, and coverage was Brandon Faison.
And Bud Foster rolled the dice. He had that man-free look, and then he blitzed the free safety from off, and he got there, but just a little bit too late.
And
Mark Reynolds
couldn't get up in time, so the officials wait for the trainers, and you're losing.
That's big.
Great cornerback right here.
Right, that's the guy that they have put on Garrett throughout the entire night.
So let's see who draws the assignment of Kieris Garrett in front of the Virginia Tech bench.
Looks like they moved Alexander out there.
36 Alexander right there.
And now they
Strowman in the nickelback position there, number 3. He's with Connor Floyd, most likely. And Atkinson is at the top of your screen, right by the Tulsa sideline. Evans under pressure, down he goes at the 40-yard line.
I'm not sure who got there first. Was it Luther Maddie?
Tulsa
A lot of them got there pretty much at the same time, partner.
30-second
And Tulsa will burn their final timeout with 1:26 to go, facing 3rd and 16.
And Maddie brought the lunch pail. He got a little help on the outside from Daddy Nicholas.
Yeah, it was Maddie. 4 sacks for this Hokies defense.
And that's good coverage down the field. Showed color on color. And Frank Beamer is watching this one intently, and no premature celebration from the coach. He's seen too much over his years.
Stunned that time by the Hokies. Evans, Pats goes, fires, incomplete. Little high for Atkinson. 4th and 16.
Good coverage by Terrell Edmonds again.
Well, all credit to Tulsa, whatever happens on this play. The fact that they have battled back when the spotlight was never really on them in this game, except, of course, among their fans. They've made this a thrilling football game.
And you can't doubt their mettle.
Empty set. Evans, they only rushed 3 and they got him. Nicholas, Daddy comes through. Virginia Tech is going to hang on and win.
Daddy Nicholas, just an inside move. He just clubbed the right tackle, Willie Wright. Club, swim, stumble, finish, and that's a great sack. We mentioned and saw Bruce Smith earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if his spirit just jumped inside of Daddy Nicholas's body or what happened there, but that looked awful Bruce Smithish to me.
And Evans never really saw him either. He was looking down that left sideline all the way, probably for Atkinson, and it's going to be victory formation time, one final time for Frank Beamer. And if you're Daddy Nicholas, and you know, 10, 20, 25 years from now, you can tell your family, hey, my sack wrapped it up for Frank Beamer in his final game. We were having a tough time with Tulsa, and I got to the quarterback game. It was unbelievable at first half because the pace of the scoring was exhausting. And then the comeback by Tulsa to get this to where it got to a final down was incredible. And it's cold, but it's good.
Congratulations, Coach Beamer. Fitting way. Storied career.
Win number 280. And what a way to bookend your bowl career. You bookend it with a win in Shreveport on both sides. 1993 victory over Indiana, and now a dramatic win over Tulsa. And he got that winning season he wanted so bad.
Yeah, that was what this game was all about for the Hokies.
And you see Jane is standing there right now with Frank Beamer.
Coach, how would you describe this final win, this final game?
Well, it was different. We scored a lot of points, and usually when that happens, we got the game pretty well tied up, but that wasn't the case tonight. Give credit to them. That quarterback, he was accurate, and their receivers made some great catches. They're tough. Throwing the football, they're very, very tough.
Emotion when you saw that final sack, knowing that you had this one in the bag.
Yeah, well, I just relief, you know, and that's the way we've been playing them for the most part, down to the wire close. But I'm proud of the way our guys hang in there and they keep battling. They always play hard. We don't always play well, but we play hard. And it's a great team win here tonight. We score on offense. The kicking game was really good. Our kickers, and then the defense, when we needed it, they came through.
Congratulations, Coach,
Thank you.
on a great career for that
Thank
matter.
you. I appreciate
Guys,
it.
back to you.
Thank you, Jane. We're going to miss him in college football. We can tell you from our perspective as announcers and for all the other announce crews that had the pleasure either travel to Blacksburg or talk to Coach Beamer on the road. We're really going to miss that man for what he represents. My thanks to Dave Lemon and Phil DeMont-Mullen, Jamie Turner, Paul Newman, Jake Bentley, all the folks that helped me throughout the season. My thanks to my dear friend Ray Bentley. Thank you, Jane Slater. Thank you to all of our crews throughout the year. Coming up next on ESPN, it's more Capital One Bowl mania, the Foster Farms Bowl, UCLA versus Nebraska, as we say goodnight from Shreveport, Louisiana.